What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with a tune that is not part of the We Save Us playlist, but it's adjacent, because indeed, I just reacted to, as part of that playlist, Sarah McLachlan and a live performance of her World on Fire. And as I've mentioned a few times, the one Sarah McLachlan tune I knew through a remix before I began the deep dive a year or so ago is World on Fire, the Junkie XL remix, because it was in a FIFA game, FIFA soccer as we call it here. But yes, the FIFA Electronic Arts franchise that's now been around for 30 years, although it's not called FIFA anymore, it's called EAFC. In any case, the point is, mid-2000s it was included in the soundtrack for one of the games, and to be fair, the FIFA games have always had really incredible soundtracks, and I became aware of a number of tunes and artists through those soundtracks. But yes, this remix I've known for 20 years roughly, and as I said in the reaction to the live performance of World on Fire, I don't remember how many of the vocals from the normal version of the tune are in this track. I know it has drive and it's got some pace to it, but it's also a bit moody and atmospheric, so it's one of those type of dance tracks which has a bit of maybe not melancholy, but certainly, if not melancholy, it's got a bit of a heavier atmosphere to it. Junkie XL, I believe it's technically a group, but all of the tunes I think are written primarily by this guy named Tom, who I think is from the Netherlands, if I'm remembering that correctly. So yeah, with no further ado, let's hear it. This is the Junkie XL club mix of Sarah McLachlan's World on Fire, which I initially heard as part of a FIFA soundtrack roughly 20 years ago. I said nostalgic flashback. awesome. It is an awesome remix. I love it. Now, for me, it is bound up in some nostalgia, and I really like felt a wave of that when the track started. But it's partially just because of the sonics. It's not just that I remember it, fondly from back in the day. Which again, back in the day, I did sort of like, oh, like I just gotta let this play. I don't want to like start the next game because it'll cut off the track. But yeah, number one, it has that melancholic atmosphere, though in the back half it does feel a little more uplifting. There was a line here I caught a little more clearly than in the live performance of the regular tune that I just listened to, which is like, stay close to me when the sky is falling, something to that effect. I may be like misplacing a word or two there, but that seemed to be the essence of the line. And again, the idea that you're not alone. The world might be on fire, it might be more than anyone can handle, but if we stay close to each other, if we find solace and strength in each other, there is, in a way, safety in numbers, but also we can be more resilient if we know we have support, if we know that others are here with us, even in dark, fiery times. And again, not only does the track give off a bit of this melancholic, heavy feeling that, the world is on fire, but it also feels like there is resilience and a bit of an uplifting sentiment by the end. I do also just love the sonics. It's got some pace to it. I enjoy the percussive scheme, the kick, the hi-hat, the clap. I enjoy the trance stylings. It's sort of like a vocal trance version of this tune. So, and again, there's a couple moments where you can hear some, electric grit in there, some, more like overtly like electronic trance stylings in some of the sonics, but I think it blends pop tune and trance track really, really well. I think it's a fantastic remix that holds up 20 or so years later. So shout out to Sarah, of course, for the lyrics and the original, but shout out to Junkie XL for a really good remix. Let me know what you think of it, and the suddenly very fussy Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.